Здравствуйте. Hello and welcome to Russian language class. So, before moving on to the topics that we are going to learn today, let us quickly have a recap of some of the topics that we have learnt in the previous lesson. If you remember correctly, in the previous lesson we had discussed the expression of time. So, how do we express time in Russian language? So, we had discussed some of the questions, how do you ask time in Russian and how do you answer that. So, let us quickly revise all of them. Skolka сейчас времени, and what does it mean? Skolka сейчас времени, what is the time now? The next question or interrogative sentence that I have written here is во сколько вы обычно ужинаете? Во сколько вы обычно ужинаете? Во сколько is at what time? At what time do you have dinner usually? And how do you answer this question? So, there are actually two types of questions. In the first question we are asking about the time, and the second question we are asking about the time of an action. So, I have written a 3 time here, and how do you use 1325, 722 and 151 in Russian. So, for example, if you want to say that now it is 125 or 1325, or if you want to say 722 or if you want to say 151 in Russian. So, I had also told you that there are 3 forms of chas, which is hour, and 3 forms of minuta. Minuta is minute. With 1 we use chas and minuta, with 2, 3, 4 we use minuti or chissa, and with 5 up to 20 we use chissov or minut. So, here as you can see 13 falls between 5 to 20. So, how will you say 13? 13 and chissov. 13 chissov 25 minut. 13 chissov 25 minut. What about 722? How do we say 722 in Russian? 7 chissov 22 minuti. Here the last number is 2. So, with 2 we are supposed to use minuti. 7 chissov 22 minuti. 151 час 51 minuta. So, here minuta will be used, and minuta is a feminine gender noun, that is why we will use adna, will not use ajin or adno. So, this is how we answer this question, skolka сейчас времени. If you want to say во сколько вы обычно ужинаете, if you want to answer this question, we will use the preposition во and then time. So, for example, if you want to say I have my dinner at 9 o'clock, how will you say that? Я обычно ужинаю в 9 часов. В and 9 часов. If you want to say that I have my dinner at 10 o'clock, how will you say? Я обычно ужинаю в 10 часов. So, this is how we answer these questions. So, let us move on to the topics that we are going to learn today. In this lesson, we will continue with our previous topic, accusative case in Russian language. So far, we have seen how do singular nouns change in the accusative case. Now, we will discuss how do plural nouns decline in the accusative case. As we have already discussed that the plural nouns which are inanimate do not decline in the accusative case. For example, if we are using stali, if you are using stulya, if you are using lampi, they will not decline in the accusative case. But if we are using animate nouns, for example, student, studentka, vrach, tavarish, drug, padruga, they will change in the accusative case. So, what changes are we supposed to make in those nouns, that we will discuss now. Let us start with the masculine nouns first. So, I have prepared a table here. As you can see, I have written the endings here. So, the first column represents the ending of the noun. So, if the noun ends with these things, then we are supposed to add or drop these consonants or vowels and these are the examples. So, let us start with the first point. So, if the animate noun which is masculine ends with these consonants either zh, ch, sh or sh, then we add ye to make its accusative case form. For example, vrach, vrach is doctor, vrach as you can see ends with ch, which is here. So, what we do to make its accusative case? We add ye and e krat ke, so it becomes vrachyei. So, vrachyei is the accusative case form of the noun vrach. Similarly, let us take another noun tavarish. What is tavarish? Tavarish is friend. So, tavarish also ends with sh, which is there in the first column. So, how are we supposed to make its accusative case? We will add ye and e krat ke at the end. So, tavarish, tavarishei, vrachyei and tavarishei. The second point is, if the noun ends with, if the masculine noun ends with a soft sign. For example, pripada vachil, uchichil, pisachil and so on. So, all these nouns end with a soft sign. So, if a noun, animate noun, masculine noun ends with a soft sign, then what are we supposed to do to make its accusative case form? We drop that soft sign first and add ye and e krat ke at the end. For example, pripada vachil. So, just drop the soft sign and add ye and e krat ke. So, what do we get? Pripada vachilyei, pripada vachilyei. So, here ye we are adding to pripada vachil and dropping the soft sign. The next example I have written here is uchichilyei. What is uchichilyei? Uchichil is a teacher. Uchichilyei. So, again we are dropping the soft sign and adding ye and e krat ke. Pripada vachilyei, uchichilyei. The third ending is e krat ke. So, if an animate masculine noun ends with an e krat ke, then what are we supposed to do? We drop e krat ke and add yef, ye and v to the end. So, what do we get if we have a noun giroi? Giroi is hero. So, how do we make the accusative case form of giroi? We drop e krat ke and add yef, giroef. Giroef is the plural accusative case form of the giroi. The next ending is tse. So, if a noun ends with tse, for example, inastranets, inastranets is a foreigner. So, how do we make the accusative case form of inastranets or a noun which ends with tse? We add ye and v at the end and we get the accusative case form. So, inastranets, inastransif, inastransif. So, we are adding yef here and we are also dropping the ye before the last consonant. So, we get inastransif. The last ending is hard consonant. So, there are many masculine animate nouns which end with hard consonants. So, what do we do when we come across those nouns with hard consonant ending? For example, student, brat and so on. So, what do we do? We add o and v at the end and we get the accusative case form. So, student, accusative case form will be studentaf. So, we are adding o and v at the end and this is the accusative case form of the noun with hard consonant ending. So, this was about the masculine nouns. Now, we will discuss the feminine nouns. We have already discussed how masculine animate nouns in plural decline in the accusative case. Now, let us discuss how the feminine animate nouns in plural decline in the accusative case. Again, based on the previous session, I have written here endings first and then what are we supposed to do, what are we going to add or what are you going to remove, and then some examples. So, the feminine nouns which end with the vowel a, for example, padruga. So, how are we going to make padruga if it is used in the accusative case? So, padruga, if a noun ends with a, what do? We drop the ending. So, padruga ends with a, so we drop the ending which is a. What do we get? Padruk. So, we have simply dropped the ending and we have got the accusative case form of the noun padruga. So, this was first case when the noun ends with a. The second case is when the noun ends with a consonant plus ya. For example, chochya. What is chochya? Chochya is auntie. So, how do we make changes in this noun to make it accusative case form? So, how are we going to use chochya in the accusative case? So, what we do is we remove ya from the end and add ye and e krat ke. So, chochya, just remove or drop the ending ya and add ye and e krat ke. So, what do we get? We get chochye. Chochye. Chochye is the plural animate in the accusative case. The next ending is soft sign. We have only two nouns, mach and doj, with this ending, and these are irregular nouns, they are exceptions. So, what we do is we use this construction machiryei, machiryei, dachiryei. So, these are exceptions. So, that is why you have to memorize these nouns, they have different set of rules, they do not follow the existing rules, they have different set of rules for the change and to be used in the accusative case. Now, let us go back to the first ending a. So, what will happen when we have nouns such as studentka, dievushka and sistra? Studentka, a female student, dievushka, a girl, and sistra, sister. If we remove the ending a from all these three nouns, what do we get? We get studentk, devushk, sistr. So, as you can see, there are cluster of consonants at the end. So, that is why it is very difficult to pronounce them. So, to make it easy to pronounce, we insert either o or ye or yo. So, these are the vowels which are inserted between the last and the penultimate consonant to make its accusative case form. Studentka, we are inserting the vowel o. So, we get studentak. So, now it is easy to pronounce studentak. Similarly, we are inserting the vowel ye, which is a soft vowel, and we get dievushek. This is the accusative case plural form of dievushka. The next is sistra. So, here we are inserting the vowel yo, and that is how we get the accusative case form of this noun sistra. Sistior. So, studentak, dievushek and sistior, these are the accusative case forms of the nouns studentka, dievushka and sistra. So, this rule you have to remember, that whenever a noun after dropping a ends with a cluster of consonant, we use either o, ye or yo. There are a few nouns which have irregular ending in their nominative plural, and we have discussed all those nouns. So, what happens when we use those nouns in the accusative case in plural? For example, let us take brat. What is the nominative case plural of brat? It is bratya. And how do we form the accusative plural of brat? It is bratyev. So, we are adding ye and v at the end, and we get the accusative case form of Barat. See the ending, soft sign ye and v. Let us take another noun which has irregular ending in the plural nominative case. Druk, what is the nominative case plural of druk? It is druzia, druzia. So, here stress is on the ending ya. And what is the accusative case form of druk? In plural it is druziei, druziei. So, here as you can see the ending is ye and e krat ke. What we are doing is we are dropping this soft sign here, but in the first noun which is bratia, we are not dropping this soft sign. Why? It depends on the position of stress in the word, in the irregular plural in the nominative case. For example, look at the word bratia. Here stress is on the first syllable, not on the ending. So, if the stress is not on the ending, then we retain the soft sign. As you can see, Brachiev has this soft sign. So, we have not dropped this soft sign, but if you look at Druzia, it has stress on the last syllable, which means on the last vowel ya. So, in that case we will drop this soft sign. So, the spelling of the accusative plural depends on the position of stress in the nominative plural. So, this thing also you have to keep in mind while using the nouns in the accusative plural. Okay, let us discuss some examples with the accusative case forms of the plural nouns. For example, I have written a couple of sentences here. Let us take them one by one. Yajdu druziei na stanovke. Here I have not written na. So, na will be here. Yajdu druziei na stanovke. I am waiting for friends at the bus stop. I am waiting for friends at the bus stop. This jdu comes from the verb jdat, jdat, to wait for, and after jdat we use the accusative case, and here we have used accusative case of plural nouns. Yajdu druziei, yajdu druziei na stanovke. The next sentence, Mish Giom Pripada Vachelnits, Mish Giom Pripada Vachelnits. So, here again we are using the same verb which is jdat, jdat is to wait for, and Pripada Vachelnitsa, Pripada Vachelnitsa is a female teacher. So, what is the plural form of Pripada Vachelnitsa in the accusative case? We drop the ending which is a. So, what do we get? Pripada Vachelnits, Mish Giom Pripada Vachelnits. We are waiting for our teachers. So, this is how we use the animate nouns in plural in the accusative case. So, let us move on to another topic. We have already learned how singular nouns, plural nouns and adjectives in singular decline in the accusative case. Now, we will discuss how adjectives in plural decline in the accusative case. We have already discussed that adjectives in plural, if they qualify the inanimate nouns, they do not decline in the accusative case. So, if an adjective qualifies a noun which is inanimate, will not decline in the accusative case, but if the same adjective qualifies an animate noun, it will decline or it will change its form in the accusative case. So, let us have a look at the changes in the accusative case if the adjective modifies or qualifies animate nouns. So, here as you can see I have written the nominative case forms of the adjectives in plural and then accusative case form of the adjectives in plural if they qualify inanimate nouns. So, inanimate adjectives, and here adjectives which qualify the animate nouns. So, as you can see, krasivye, which means beautiful, does not change if it qualifies an inanimate noun, but it changes here if it qualifies an animate noun. So, krasivye remains krasivye if it qualifies an inanimate noun, but it becomes krasivih if it qualifies an animate noun. So, what change are we doing? What change are we making in this word? We are replacing this ye with h. Krasivye, krasivih. Next adjective is balshiye. What is balshiye? Balshiye is big. So, this is the nominative case form of balshoi in plural, balshiye. Again, if it qualifies an inanimate noun, it will not change. So, balshiye will remain balshiye, but if it qualifies an animate noun, it will be balshikh. So, it will change to balshikh. So, again we are changing the ending ye with h, balshiye, balshikh. Next adjective we have is kharoshiye. Kharoshiye is good. So, again it will not change if it qualifies an inanimate noun, but it will change if it qualifies an animate noun. So, what is the change? Again we are replacing the ending which is ye with h. Kharoshikh, kharoshiye, kharoshiye and kharoshikh. And the next adjective is a soft ending adjective, siniye. Siniye will not change if it qualifies an inanimate noun, and it will change to sinikh if it qualifies an animate noun. So, siniye will remain siniye with inanimate nouns, and it will become scenic with animate nouns. So, now we will look at some examples. Now, let us look at some of the sentences where nouns and adjectives have been used in the accusative case. I have written 3 sentences here where nouns and adjectives have been used in the accusative case. Let us look at the first one. Včera mi покупали красивые костюмы. Včera mi покупали. What is покупать? Покупать is a verb which means to buy. Покупать is an nesavirshiny with imperfective aspect. So, what is the perfective aspect of покупать? It is купить. So, včera mi покупали красивые костюмы. Yesterday we bought krasivye, beautiful, костюмы, dresses. So, yesterday we bought beautiful dresses. Here, as you can see, we have used dresses, which is an inanimate noun. So, if the noun is inanimate, then we do not change the adjective. So, it remains the same as nominative case. So, krasivye plural will remain krasivye with inanimate noun. The other one, the next sentence we have is все любят хороших студентов. Все любят хороших студентов. Here we have used the pronoun все, which is a determinative pronoun, which means here everyone or everybody. Everybody loves or like. Любить. Любить is to like or to love. So, everybody loves хороших студентов. So, here the noun is animate. Student is an animate noun, that is why we have used хороших. So, хорошие becomes хороших if it qualifies an animate noun. Хороших студентов, and student, the plural of the student in the accusative cases, студентов. So, we are adding o and v, студентов. Все любят хороших студентов. The third sentence. Каждый студент знает новых преподавателей. Каждый студент знает новых преподавателей. Каждый, this word каждый means every. Every student knows the new teachers. So, here teacher is again an animate noun. So, that is why we are supposed to change the accusative case form of the adjective novye. So, novye becomes novich, and pripada vachal, it ends with a soft sign. So, what happens when a noun ends with a soft sign? So, how do we change it, the noun in the accusative case in plural? We add ye and e krat ke. So, that is why we get novich pripada vachalye. Kashti students snayat novich pripada vachalye. Every student knows the new teachers. So, this is about the changes that we make with the nouns, adjectives and pronouns in the accusative case. Like adjectives, the demonstrative pronoun etat and determinative pronoun ves also change in the accusative case if they are used with animate nouns in plural. So, how we are going to make changes to these pronouns when they are used with animate nouns? Let us have a look at them. So, I have written the nominative singular of the demonstrative pronoun etat and ves. So, etat and ves. Etat is a demonstrative pronoun and ves is the determinative pronoun. And the nominative plural of etat is echi and nominative plural of ves is se. So, what happens when these pronouns are used with the plural animate nouns? Echi changes to echich and se changes to sech. So, what changes have we made here? We have added the consonant h at the end, echich and sech. So, this is how we get the accusative case form of the pronouns etat and ves if they are used with animate nouns. So, let us look at some of the examples where these pronouns are used. For example, pripada vachal sprasil sech studiantav anovam uchebnike. Pripada vachal sprasil sech studiantav anovam uchebnike. The teacher, what is sprasit? Sprashivach is the imperfective aspect and sprasit is the perfective aspect. And what does it mean? It means to ask question, to ask a question. To prepare the teacher asked sech studiantav, kavo, sech, all the students. So, here sech studiantav is used in the accusative case, and since the student is an animate noun, se has become sech, sech studiantav anovam uchebnike, achyom. So, this phrase answers the question achyom, achyom. And how do we answer achyom? We use the noun in the prepositional case. So, here uchebnik has been used in the prepositional case. Anovam uchebnike, about the new book. So, the teacher asked all the students about the new book. So, here this thing is in the prepositional case and sech studiantav is in the accusative case and pripada vachal is in the nominative case. So, three cases have been used in this sentence. The next sentence I have written here is mi ljubim echik sportsmenov, sportsman, sportsman. Mi ljubim, we love or we like, echich, sportsmenov. Sportsman is also an animate noun, that is why again we are supposed to use these forms with the animate nouns. So, mi ljubim echich sportsmenov. So, etat has become echich. Why? Because it is used with the animate noun sportsman. So, this is about the accusative case. We have finished all the topics related to the accusative case. So, in the next lesson we will talk about another case. So, which topics we have discussed in this lesson? We have discussed the accusative case of the animate nouns in plural, and then we have discussed the adjectives in plural with animate nouns and the pronouns etat and ves in plural in the accusative case. So, this is all we have for today. We will meet in the next class. Spasiba, до свидания.